Follow the Money is made on the lands of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples. We pay our respects to elders past and present and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded.
Here's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for a Labor government to say, well, actually, you know what? I think foreign gas companies have got more to do with how you're feeling than foreign arrivals.
Yeah.
And if we were to tax those foreign gas companies, I could lower your cost of living, improve the quality of your services, and restore some faith in your democracy, all in one fell swoop.
One for Mum, one for Dad, and one for the country.
And there has never been a more exciting time to be an Australian.
Budgets are about choices, Fran, and you show what you value through the choices you make.
This is coal. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. The Treasurer knows.
I want an economy that works for people, not the other way around.
We'll just end up being a third-rate economy, a banana republic.
Just follow the money.
G'day, and welcome to Follow the Money, the Australia Institute's podcast that explains economics, politics, and policy in plain English. I'm your host, Ebony Bennett. If you're a regular listener, you've probably heard us talk about the gas industry before, probably more than once. And you know that Australia raises more money from beer excise than it does from the Petroleum Resources Rent Tax.
Would it be accurate to say that the tax on offshore gas exports, PRT, is still giving us less revenue than the tax on beer?
Have a look. Just bear with me a second. In 25, 26 in my info, taxes on beer, we're expecting 2.7 billion. Taxes from PWRT, 1.5, so yes, lower than.
How do we live in a country, one of the biggest gas exporters in the world, and we're getting more tax from beer than PRT?
You know that when gas prices go up, Norwegians feel rich while Australians feel like they've got to tighten their belts because of higher prices. And you'll know that the Australian government literally gives some of our gas away to multinational export corporations for free. It sounds so ridiculous because it is. But why? It's the question Australia Institute co-CEO Richard Dennis gets asked the most. So he wrote a book about it. More Fool Me, How the Gas Industry Tricked Australia is the latest edition of our Vantage Point essay series, and it's available now from Australia Institute Press. And Richard's with me in the studio to talk about it. G'day, Richard.
Hey, Eb.
So, first of all, congratulations on the essay.
Thank
you. It's
you.
a cracking read. And you kick it all off by writing that this isn't really a book about economics. It's not even really a book about gas, but it's about politics and human behaviour. Why is that so important to understand when it comes to how Australia got itself into this situation?
Well, because after years of explaining to people that, as you said, we get more revenue from beer excise than we get from our petroleum resource rent tax, everyone just keeps asking, but why?
Yeah.
But how? And as an economist, it's like, because reasons, because the people we keep electing keep doing this. So, yeah, in this essay, I start with the story of the world's first con man. And you might have heard the term con artist or con trick or con man. Well, the first person to be called a con artist was actually a guy called William Thompson. We know his name. He walked around in New York in the 1840s pulling what became known as a confidence trick. And his confidence trick was to walk up to rich white blokes and say, you look like a man who knows how to judge other people's character. You look like the kind of man with the courage of his convictions. Why don't you impress the people standing near you by agreeing to lend me your watch, and I will return it to you tomorrow, right here at this precise time tomorrow. If you are a strong judge of character, back yourself and lend me your watch. And spoiler alert, he didn't come back.
Ran off with a bunch of watches.
Walked off. Did he commit a crime?
Arguable.
I mean,
He was up front.
Right. He lied to people and they made a bad decision. So when we hear con and con artist, we usually think about the person pulling the con. But actually a confidence trick works by making other people feel confident, indeed by playing to their ego. And what's this got to do with gas? Well, for, 50 years, the gas industry's been coming to Australia and saying to our prime ministers, our resource ministers, our senior public servants, gee, you look like clever people. I've got a deal for you. Why don't you give me your gas for free up front and I will pay so much tax in the future?
So much.
So much tax in the future. And spoiler alert, they never came back with our watch.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about how most Australians, we've got record GDP, but most Australians aren't feeling wealthier.
No.
And that idea that I talked about in the introduction, where when the price of gas in Norway goes up, it's great news. But here, it just seems to make things more of a struggle.
Yep.
So why is there such a disconnect, and what does the gas industry have to do with that?
Okay, so let's start with when the price of oil goes up, the Saudis feel rich.
Yep.
When the price of gas goes up, the Norwegians and the Qataris feel rich. And in Australia, when the price of coal and gas, of which we export huge amounts, go up, we call it an energy crisis. Like, we're literally like, oh, gee, gas is expensive, electricity is expensive. Whew, it's a tough time to live in Australia with these high record prices for our exports.
Yeah.
And that's because it's not Australia that gets the money for selling gas. It's not Australia that gets the money for selling coal. It's the gas companies that we gave the gas to. And if we're dumb enough to give them the gas for free, if we're dumb enough to give them the gas even at a fixed price, but then the price doubles, well, it's the gas industry that gets rich when the price of gas goes up. So in Australia, our very confident public servants and our very confident resource ministers and our very confident prime ministers have signed up to arrangements where it's Chevron, Impex, Shell that get rich when the price of our gas, using scare quotes, and our coal goes up. So firstly, it's because we're giving it away for free often that we don't see the benefit when the price goes up. And then that links to the other part of your question. When the good folk at the Australian Bureau of Statistics calculate Australia's GDP, Australia's national income, well, all of the revenue received by 100% foreign-owned companies like Impex and Chevron, all of their revenue and their profit counts in our GDP.
Yeah.
So, when the data says, look, GDP is growing, the gas price went up, Impex profits are up, Chevron's profits are up, therefore national income's up. Well, if you don't own any shares in Chevron and you don't own any shares in Impex, well, all you got was higher electricity prices, higher petrol prices, higher gas prices.
Yeah.
So again, the way that the story is told, we are all benefiting because our exports have gone up in value.
Yeah.
But if I sell my watch secondhand on eBay to someone in Japan, Australia's exports just went up, but you don't get any money.
Yeah.
But this idea that exports are good for us has been kind of drummed into us. But the reality is a 100% foreign-owned company getting our gas for free.
Yeah.
When the price it gets for selling our gas doubles, they're better off, but you and I aren't.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about the confidence trick, I guess, of the gas industry, and it certainly likes to make a lot of big claims about how good it is for the economy and what it's delivering to Australians. And you write that if the gas industry were a sports person, we'd call them an arrogant dickhead. We've all known those types. But why do you say that?
Because an economy is a team sport. And in Australia, we've been, again, trained by the people that, purport to represent us. We've been trained to think that our economy, collectively, 28 million Australians, has a backbone, and that without the backbone, we'd all be ruined. And needless to say, it's always some powerful group putting their hand up saying, yep, that's me, I'm the backbone. And the gas industry are very quick to say, we're the backbone of the economy. Well, There's lots of problems with that. The first one is that having taught economics for 30 years, I'm very confident saying there's no chapter in any textbook on identifying the backbone of an economy.
Yeah.
Right? Economies are spineless. Right? We don't have a backbone. Indeed, economics is all about trade. We call it the circular flow. We talk about gains from trade. The whole point of an economy is it's lots of people doing lots of different things. But in Australia, where power is the ability to talk crap and get away with it, the gas industry have kind of gone, no. Economics is wrong. There's this foundational industry called the resources industry, and without us, you'd all be ruined. We're it. We're the base. We're the backbone. And again, that's not economics, and it's obviously just not true. How do we know it's not true? Well, most economies, most countries don't even have a gas industry. Are they spineless?
Yeah.
How do they even live?
Yeah.
Right? So step one,
Other countries have figured out how to survive without any gas industry whatsoever.
Arguably thrive. So step one, other countries don't have one and they're okay. Step two, we didn't used to actually have much of a gas export industry. We only became major gas exporters in 2015. So if you want to know what Australia's economy looks like without the gas industry, it's 2014.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you. I was around for that. What do we know about 2014? Well, gas was cheaper.
Yep.
Electricity was cheaper. And, we could afford to have nice things. So is gas the backbone of the economy? Well, it's not the backbone of most economies. It didn't even used to be much of a contributor to our economy. But in recent years, they've grown really fast because they built these enormous gas export facilities in Gladstone in Queensland that didn't used to be there.
Yeah.
So what gas we had used to get sold to Australian households, Australian industry at low prices.
Because we had so much of it.
Because we had so much of it. It was literally cheap and it was landlocked. It moved up and down the East Coast in pipes, but you couldn't sell it to Korea. You couldn't sell it to Japan. You couldn't sell it to China. But the gas industry spent tens of billions of dollars building giant export facilities so that they could take our gas and sell it to us or the world for whoever was paying the highest price. Guess what? Price was a lot higher overseas. So since we started exporting gas from the East Coast in 2015, the wholesale price of gas tripled.
Yep.
Tripled. So the point is, in an economy, different people do different things. And if the gas industry wants to say, without us, you'd be nothing, okay, well, if that's the case, who trained all the engineers that the gas industry employed? The education sector. Could we have a gas industry without trained engineers? No. Oh, so maybe education is the backbone of the economy.
Yeah.
Hang on, all those gas workers, actually there's not many, it's only 20 or so thousand, those gas workers, you know what, without food, they'd starve to death and wouldn't work in the gas industry. So maybe agriculture is the backbone of the economy. But actually, how do most of them get to work? Oh, in cars, or if they're offshore, in planes or boats. So maybe it's pilots and boat captains that are the backbone of the economy. So this idea of a backbone of an economy just doesn't exist. It's not a thing. But when you're as profitable as the gas industry, take out full-page ads, endlessly lobby politicians, be on radio 24/7, you can convince Australians that we'd be nothing without them.
Yeah.
Indeed, you could obliterate history and we could forget that in 2014 we were living quite well without them. Indeed,
without a gas export industry at all.
Well, not on the East Coast, a little bit happening in WA, but yeah, with no exports from the East Coast and with much cheaper gas. Oh, the humanity.
So governments are obviously responsible for allowing this situation to develop. And you kind of talk a little bit more about the perverse outcomes, but also that it's unfathomable to so many people once they understand the situation that we keep making these choices or we don't change it. So, what is there to say about a political system or governments that will spend so much more time, for example, and intensive resources going after welfare fraud or redesigning the whole of the NDIS, but won't spend any more time getting us a better deal on gas, which seems much more straightforward and lucrative.
Yeah. So literally, like our nation state is so worried that people on welfare were ripping us off. We went through the trauma of robo-debt. Our nation is so worried that people with disabilities might be getting it too good that we're about to cut $17 billion out of NDIS spending. But when we show up and say, boy, this giving half of our gas away with no royalties and no PRT seems a bit odd. Might we look into that? No, it's fine, Richard. In fact, it's complicated.
I was going to say it's more complicated.
It's more
than
complicated than that. And also, now's not the time to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really important that we do actually keep it simple. And by simple, I mean we look at how we compare missing out on some things with missing out on others. And how do I understand that? Well, again, that's why I wrote the essay, and that's why I started with the con trick. Because, and I don't mean to make light of this, maybe some people listening have experienced this. When people get conned, it's embarrassing. When people get conned, it's shameful. Or the people who feel conned feel shame. They shouldn't. Like they weren't the perpetrator. But that sense of embarrassment and shame leads people to silence. And unfortunately, what's happening here is that our political class, the prime ministers past and present, resource ministers past and present, secretaries of department past and present, they're the ones that got conned.
Yeah.
Not us. Wasn't me. Wasn't you. Wasn't the people listening.
Yeah, I certainly didn't sign off on any gas export terminals.
Right. But the people that did, the people that fell for the fact that the watch would be coming back soon are embarrassed. And it's state and federal governments, it's Labor and Liberal governments.
And it's not been a small...
It's a biggie. Like this is the, again, I don't mean to make light of it. This is the tragic story you read where someone got conned into signing their life savings away, on a dating scam or an identity theft. And the person that did it is kicking themselves.
Yeah.
Well, what we know is that people often keep that to themselves. And a lot of people don't report to the police or even tell their families what's happened. So, the reality is our not average Australians, but our leadership class, our governing class are collectively embarrassed by this. So much so that if you listen to the Prime Minister, not only has he got an excuse for why he doesn't want to fix it now, crisis in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fix it next year then. There you go. Do it then. He's telling us literally that the watch is coming back soon.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister's actually criticised myself and the Australia Institute and said, but PRRT, our Petroleum Resource Rent Tax, the revenue, it's going to pick up. It's coming. The watch is coming soon.
It'll be here so soon, Richard.
Any day now. And according to the pinko lefties at the Australian Tax Office, Petroleum Resource Rent Tax is going to start to decline because get this, it's so badly designed that even though the gas export industry sometimes have been exporting gas for 10 or 15 years, well, some of these things are now coming to the end of their life. And the costs of dismantling these offshore gas rigs are deductible against the Petroleum Resource Rent Tax. So the ATO has actually told the Senate inquiry into this, well, because of all of these decommissioning costs coming up, we expect Petroleum Resource Rent Tax revenue to decline. But the PM, no worries, the watch is coming back.
The watch is coming.
Any day. So again, I can't see into the soul of these individuals. I don't know why they're so much more afraid of the gas industry than they are of voters. I don't know. But I do know that Qatar gets 5 times more tax than we do for exporting about the same amount of gas as we do.
5 times.
5 times more. So, again, there are...
So governments should be embarrassed, basically, but they just need to swallow it.
Yeah. But and this is the thing, you can't fix a problem if you won't admit you've got one.
Yeah.
And at various times in the last 20 years, different people in power have gone, maybe it's not working as well as we think.
Yeah.
But then when it comes time to fixing something, not never happens.
So I want to move now to the solutions and to that idea that no, actually, Richard, this is a bit more complicated than what you understand things to be. So obviously, the Australia Institute, the ACTU, many people have taken up this idea of a 25% gas export tax. We know that would bring in how much revenue a year?
Only a lazy 17 billion per year.
Every year.
Every year. About 350 million a week.
Right.
So the longer we chat about this,
the more money we're leaving behind.
Put it off a fortnight, there's 700 million gone.
Yeah. So there's a couple of common, I guess, responses to this that I think it's worth digging into.
Our gas exports are directly linked to our national fuel security. And the middle of a global fuel crisis is the worst possible time to jeopardise these relationships or the investment that underpins them. That is why I can confirm that the budget will not undermine existing contracts on gas exports.
One is this idea that we can't do anything because everything's locked up in these long-term contracts, and we can't break a contract because I think everything is sovereign risk and people don't use that accurately. But it's that idea that would, damage Australia's reputation and nobody would ever sign a contract with us again.
Yeah. To be clear, Australia should not require the gas industry to rip up any contracts that already exist.
Yep.
That doesn't mean we can't actually put a tax on soon and start collecting lots of money soon. And the Prime Minister knows that. Everybody knows that. But kind of creating this false binary, if you put a tax on, we'd have to rip up contracts. No, we won't. Lots of sort of details here, but the main thing to understand is that it's the gas companies that have signed export contracts.
Mm-hmm.
There's no signature from the Prime Minister saying Australia will give this gas to Singapore.
Yeah.
It's Impex will sell this gas to POSCO or Chevron will sell this gas to, right? So the contracts are between companies operating in Australia and companies overseas. And the contracts are, they're confidential.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see all the contracts. Bring them out.
Yeah.
If someone wants to show me, give us a look, right? But the contracts, what we know about the contracts is most of them are contracts to supply a particular volume of gas at an unknown price.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a contract to get a solar panel installed on your roof where you pay a fixed amount of money and they put a fixed amount of solar panels on your roof. So that kind of contract is what people are familiar with. This is a contract to supply a gazillion gigajoules of gas over the next 10 years between company A and company B at the world price.
Mm-hmm.
So when those contracts are signed, the gas company doesn't know what the cost of wages will be. It doesn't know what the cost of shipping will be. It doesn't know what the cost of all sorts of things will be. And indeed, neither the gas company selling it or the people buying it don't know what the price will be. So when we put a tax on gas exports, the price that the people paying will be unchanged.
Mm.
The people in Korea, the people in Japan, the people in China will still just be paying the world price. It's just the gas export industry, instead of pocketing all of that money, will have to give some of it to you and I.
Mm.
And they don't want to do that. But to be clear, Norwegian gas isn't selling on the world market at a Norwegian premium.
Because they charge extra tax. Yeah.
Okay. And Qatari gas doesn't attract the Qatari premium.
Yeah.
So let's be really clear. If Australia puts a gas export tax on our gas exports, it's the companies that are currently getting our gas either at very low prices or in half the instances for free.
Yeah.
Those gas companies will have to start paying more money to you and I.
Yeah.
So we're not going to harm our trade relationships.
Slightly less profits for gas export companies.
Yeah.
That's the outcome.
Right. And flipped on its head, if Chevron could just jack up the price of gas that it was selling to Japan, they wouldn't be sad.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be complaining. Right. So we're not going to ruin our relationships with the people buying our gas because they're just going to keep paying the same price they're already paying now. It's just, while builders have to pay for bricks and bakers have to pay for flour, in Australia, the gas export industry often doesn't have to pay for gas.
Mm.
So they're making huge profits, and they would make lower profits if we didn't give the gas away for free.
But they're not going to go into the red.
No, and no one's going to have to rip up a contract.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Australian government increased income tax rates,
Mm-hmm.
would the Australia Institute have to rip up its contract with Ebony?
No.
Why not?
Or me and my mortgage with my bank or anything like that.
Right,
Yeah,
so
things change.
You'd be worse off.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay more tax.
Yeah.
But is every employment contract in Australia ripped up?
Rewritten. Yeah.
Or, no, it's just the gas industry catastrophizing.
Yeah.
And, bullshitting.
So the other thing that I hear, and often from people who do think the gas industry should pay more, one criticism is, though, that if we successfully put a 25% gas exports tax in place and we're getting that $17 billion a year, that governments will just become addicted to fossil fuel revenue, and then that's just an incentive.
Oh, God, if only. I mean, we're giving it away for free. We're subsidising it. The government is doing the PR campaign for the gas industry for free. And some people are like, if we got some tax out of it, the government might really get behind the gas industry. Right? Like, it's like we're already at worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got drill baby drill is our resource minister's trick.
Yeah.
Roger Cook in WA, the Queensland Premier. Like, we're already at fully captured.
Yeah.
It's just we're currently losing $350 million a week
Yeah.
by giving it away for free. So I hear the risk. I just think that the risk of continuing to give it away for free while being captured completely.
Yeah.
Like, what more could the government do? Right? Labor has approved 25 new gas and coal projects since they got elected.
Yeah.
Right? Labor was vote for us because Scott Morrison doesn't get climate change. Okay, people voted for them and they've approved 25 new gas and coal projects. The gas projects are getting subsidised. One of the first things Labor did was $1.5 billion in new cash for the Middle Arm gas project up in Darwin.
Mm-hmm.
$1.5 billion. Here you go.
Yeah.
I'll give you money.
Yeah. Please.
Please.
Take my money.
Well, come and take my watch.
Yeah.
And then I hear people say, oh, the problem with taxing them, they might kind of get too close to the gas industry. Yeah, I hear it in theory. In practice, it's way too late for that.
Yeah, we passed that a while back,
Oh, yeah.
I would say. So obviously the Australian Institute, we've done a huge amount of research on this over a long period of time.
Well, before you go on, you left out a criticism.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Richard, we are not Norway.
Oh, sorry, or Qatar.
Or Qatar.
Yeah.
We're different. We're
So
different
true.
countries.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen a map. And I've been to both other countries. You know what? We are different to Norway and we are different to Qatar. And spoiler alert, Qatar is different to Norway.
As it turns out.
Qatar and Norway are different to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Other countries are different to each other too. But what unites them is they're all better at taxing gas than us.
Yeah.
So whenever I use the example of, look, other countries do it like this, it's not impossible to do it better. Oh, very clever people point out that, we're not exactly the same as them. It's like, oh, I'd heard. So, yes, to be clear, I don't want Australia to be Norway. I don't want Australia to be Qatar. I want Australia to stop giving its gas away for free. And there are lessons we could learn from either of those countries.
Yeah, we don't have to do it the exact same way.
Right.
But there's got to be something we can do.
Exactly. And one of the other kind of related arguments is, and you don't understand, Richard. It's always a good place to start. People that haven't worked on something for decades telling you don't understand. But anyway, leaving that aside, you don't understand, Richard. Norway and Qatar have invested some of their government's money in some of these projects. That's why they get so much back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's worse than that. According to the West Australian Treasury, West Australians have put $8 billion of West Australian taxpayers' money into the North West Shelf gas project.
Mm-hmm.
$8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many shares they own in the North West Shelf?
How many?
None.
None.
So it's not. So it's true that we don't own any shares. Accurate. Tick.
Yeah.
It's not true that we didn't put any money in.
Yeah.
I just told you, like Albo put $1.5 billion
So
into
that's already close to $10 billion.
Just two projects.
Just 2 projects.
Right.
Oh.
So it's so you don't understand, Richard. Norway invested in the gas industry. It's taken some risk, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, you know what? We put the cash in too. We've taken the risk too. We just got no shares and we're giving the gas away for free more than half the time.
So I guess the last thing that I wanted to touch on is it is this idea that what we're asking for is just too much. It's too hard. It's too extreme. We've kind of touched on now is not the idea. I mean, obviously things have been allowed to run away and get to this point, but should we be worried that, you know, it could be another 5 or 10 years, you know, before we get anywhere on this? Is the change going to come too late when it comes?
Who knows? Like that's actually up to the people listening. Like this is a democratic question. Do we want to get a better share or don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone listening doesn't have to be the expert in exactly how it's done. You don't have to be an expert in designing a car to choose the car you want. You don't have to know how to cook a beautiful meal to decide where you want to go for dinner. When in a democracy, a majority of Australians are loud and clear, we want a better deal for our gas. When they're loud and clear about it, when those seeking office fear voters more than they fear gas companies, we'll get it. When will that happen? I don't know, maybe never. But every week we put it off is a good week for the gas industry. $350 million worth a good week. So the gas industry aren't going to tire of lobbying to keep things the way they are. But I think it's also really important for Australians to understand that if we want to do it differently, we can have all sorts of nice things that we're currently told we can't have. So in Norway, they tax their gas industry and give their kids free higher education. In Australia, we subsidise the gas industry and charge our kids a fortune to go to uni.
Yeah.
We can change the whole country if we do this. And if we don't do it, well, that's okay. It's a democracy. But where it gets really scary, I think, is that the same Prime Minister that's saying we can't get a better deal on gas is telling us he's negotiating a really good deal on AI and big tech.
Yeah.
I got this. I'll go talk to the big companies on your behalf and I'll make sure that we get a good deal out of it.
Yeah.
Says the guy that doesn't want to have a row with the gas industry. Similarly, we're at the beginning of a new export phase around rare earths and critical minerals. Are we going to get dudded on that too?
Yep.
Well, the people that are telling us we can't possibly get a good deal like Norway are the ones putting their hand up saying, just give me a minute, I'm off to go negotiate on our behalf to make sure we get a good deal for our rare earths and our critical minerals.
Yeah.
So we need to admit to the con, we need to admit that we've been dudded on gas, not only before we can get a good deal on gas, but before we can make sure we're looked after in debates about AI, debates about data centers, debates about copyright, debates about rare earths, critical minerals. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're a rich country that's getting milked, and the people in charge of representing us, Resources Minister Madeleine King, is adamant that she's doing a bang-up job.
Yeah.
And couldn't get another cent.
So I know that this is actually pretty popular for lots of Australians. They do want to tax the gas industry. It comes up on social media all the time. People are a lot more aware that they're getting ripped off. And I guess I just want to come back to the material impact that it has, because we are kind of told all the time we can't afford things. There's so many people out there who, because of persistent inflation, are feeling like they've gone backwards. And I think it really does contribute to a sense of discontent that impacts on our democracy and is doing so around the world. So I kind of just want to come back to the fundamental, point of why we're doing all this and why it's important is like we really are missing out, and it does really impact on people.
It really does. And like, to spell it out, 17 billion a year is a lot of money. But it's also a lot of Australians who are, as you said, missing out on services, dental care, health care, childcare that we're told we can't afford to help people more. So we're missing out on the cash. That's real. We're providing expensive, sometimes low quality care to our citizens. That's a problem. And perhaps just as, if not more concerningly, a growing number of Australians are losing faith, not in a government, but in democracy. Sort of saying, what's the point? All governments are the same. All they do is make bad decisions that make my life worse. And into that comes a sort of Pauline Hanson type saying, yes, and it's all foreigners, blame the foreigners for everything. And here's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for a Labor government to say, well, actually, you know what? I think foreign gas companies have got more to do with how you're feeling than foreign arrivals.
Yeah.
And if we were to tax those foreign gas companies, I could lower your cost of living, improve the quality of your services, and restore some faith in your democracy, all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
And by the way, 70, 80% of One Nation voters like the idea of a gas tax. Green voters like it. Labor voters like it. Like, this idea genuinely unites the country.
Yeah.
It's a once-in-a-generational opportunity for Labor, if they want it, to do a big economic reform. And let's be clear, this is an economic reform. It will improve the budget position that they claim to be so worried about. They can spend the money in ways that will boost productivity and lower people's cost of living. Make childcare free, increase women's participation in the workforce, lower household spending. Like, it ticks so many boxes, but the gas industry will be sad and shouty.
Yeah.
So that's the huge opportunity. I've never seen an opportunity as big. I'm old enough to say things like this now in all my years, but also I've never seen a public clamour for something like when have you heard people wanting tax reform like this? Tax reform is usually imposed from the top down.
Yeah.
It's good for you, take it. Here's the public saying, please give me some tax reform.
Yeah.
Give it to me now. So the opportunity is huge, but let me flip it on its head. The next leader of the Liberal Party will be Andrew Hastie. Andrew Hastie has said on numerous occasions that he thinks we should tax the gas export industry. So while there's a huge opportunity for Labor to just get ahead of this, have a fight with the gas industry, make a lot of voters very happy, fix the budget, or, tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
While the opportunity for Labor is huge, the risk is actually significant now.
As well, because somebody else could get there.
Those exciting to see and read giant yellow ads of Clive Palmer's. I know you read them every time you see them. Read the first dot point. There's Clive Palmer saying we need a 25% tax on gas exports.
Yeah.
So Clive Palmer, the ACTU, the Australia Institute, the Greens, the Crossbench are all there.
Yeah.
So even Pauline Hanson has said we need a fairer share for our gas. To be clear, the policy she's proposed is hopeless.
Yep.
It's actually written by the gas industry, but she's not silly. She knows she can't walk into a pub and say that the status quo is fine.
Fine, yeah.
So she's cooked up, a sort of equally bad policy, but rhetorically, even she knows you can't defend the status quo.
Yeah.
So at the moment, the last two standing are Albo and Angus. Angus won't be with us for long, right? He just won't. So therefore, either Albo needs to go for it, or I suspect the Libs will go for it, and that'll spice things up.
Sure would. Well, thank you. Congratulations again on the essay, Richard. It is More Fool Me, How the Gas Industry Tricked Australia. It's now available for just $19.95 from Australia Institute Press, or you can subscribe to the Vantage Point series for just $64.95 to get 4 fabulous essays every year. And for a limited time only, pod listeners can use the code FOOLME, that's FOOLME, to receive a free copy of Richard's book, Econobabble, along with your Vantage Point subscription. Get yours now at australiainstitute.org.au/store or via the link in the show notes. And if you want to hear from Richard every week, don't forget to subscribe to his new podcast, What's the Point, with Richard Dennis. You can find it on YouTube or wherever you normally get your favourite podcast. This episode was recorded on Tuesday, the 18th of August, and some things may have changed since recording. Our theme music is by Jonathan McFeet from Pulse and Thrum, with additional music from Blue Dot Sessions. I'm your host, Ebony Bennett. Thanks for listening.